What's good, degenerate gamblers? Welcome to level 5 or video 5 of the Crazy Ninja Mike Sportsbook De-Vigger video series. Today we're going to cover 3 different things, none of them that hard and all fairly similar, but with some key differences. We've got mutually exclusive events within a two-way market. I'll explain what that means. Mutually exclusive events within an all-way market, and then independent events and the different ways that you de-vig those. If none of that made any sense to you, it's quite all right. You're going to get it in like 2 minutes. And FanDuel was nice to us. They gave us a perfect boost tonight to talk about 2 of these. And then the third one we'll be able to create a scenario for. So we've got this UFC fight, and it's Vettori to win by KO, TKO, or on points in his UFC fight tonight, boosted up to plus 130. So we have this boost where multiple events can happen that can lead us to winning the boost, right? Because if he wins on points, then we win. Or if he wins by KO, TKO, then we win. The problem is none of the sportsbooks are going to have a bet specifically for Marvin Vettori to win by KO, TKO, and on points, or not to do that, right? There's going to be either multi-way markets or there's going to be some two-way markets that we can use. So let me show you what I mean by that. On Pinnacle, we can bet Vettori to win on points. Here it's called by decision, but it means to win on points. 126 on the yes, minus 169 on the no. We can also bet on him for KO, TKO, plus 1100 for the yes, minus 2300 on the no. So what we need to do is essentially combine the odds for both of these bets, because if either of them happen, we win our FanDuel boost. So if we're using Pinnacle, that's actually pretty easy because we have these two ways. So we can put this into the De-Vigger really simply. All we need to do is input the odds from Pinnacle here, the yes and the no separated by a slash. And then instead of a comma right here, we have these double carets because instead of betting both of these things to happen, we just need one of these things to happen. And of course, in this case, only one of these things can happen, right? Because they're not totally independent events. Only one of these things can happen. We combine the odds, final odds of 130, and we hit calculate. But before I do that, this is actually a scenario where I want to talk about the DVig methods just a little bit, specifically for this bet, for the mutually exclusive two-way. You want to use additive here. I mean, you can hit show all and look at all of them, but in general, additive is most appropriate here because when we use additive during this type of DVig, it gets them very close to 100%, as in if you do all of the outcomes, it is the most accurate. The other DVig methods are not perfect here. And so additive is what we would want to use if we are doing a mutually exclusive two-way DVig. Two-way meaning, you know, we have the yes and we have the no, we have two sides of it, and then two separate events, but they are related. Mutually exclusive, they're not totally independent, like if we were betting on two different guys to score a goal. I'm just going to have show all for now, but we can see that we get pretty different results. We're going to trust additive here to be the most accurate, plus 8% expected value. And so we can feel pretty confident right now about this boost and how it relates to Pinnacle's odds. As far as I know, Pinnacle is like the only one who has two-way odds for those sorts of UFC, MMA markets. So what if we wanted to look at a different sharp sportsbook like Circa? They don't have those two-way odds. They just have a multi-way market. What do we do then? How do we compare Circa's odds? Because we don't want to necessarily just trust one book. We're going to put these odds in here basically just like we put in any multi-way market odds, like when we're doing a first basket DVig, maybe we're betting on a group of teams to win in a futures market or a golfer to win in a futures market, where we don't have any yes and no's, we just have all of them to win in those odds. The only difference is because we have two bets here, either him to win on KO or TKO, or for him to win by decision or points, which is the exact same thing. We have this caret here to sort of combine the odds. We only use the single caret in this all-way mutually exclusive market. We use the double caret in the two-way mutually exclusive market like I showed you earlier. So we hit calculate here, and we actually have a great looking boost. Worst case plus 9.3% expected value relative to Circa odds. If you're wondering why I gave a lower EV earlier in the day, by the way, if you're watching this the day of, it's because Circa and Pinnacle were kind of outliers relative to the other books in how much they favored this boost happening. Certainly, I do trust Circa and Pinnacle more, but I wanted to stay conservative, and so I took an average of other books as well. Plus, odds actually moved, and this bet looks even better than it did when I first put out my daily boosts and promos video. But regardless of that, most of you guys will be watching this days later anyway. This function here can work in a variety of different ways, as I sort of touched on earlier. If you're picking this guy or this guy to win a NASCAR race, right? Kyle Busch or Truex Jr., to win a NASCAR race and you have their 2 odds, you put their 2 odds first and then the rest of the market behind them. Of course, for a NASCAR race, it's probably going to be a lot more numbers here. It's going to take a little bit longer, but ultimately isn't difficult to do. It's the exact same process here. You can do the same thing with a first touchdown scorer market. If you have all the odds for every single player to score a first touchdown and you're betting on 2 guys to do it, or if it's just 1 guy to do it, and then you would just have a slash here instead of combining their odds. And of course, this can be used to de-Vigger a golf market, Jon Rahm or Rory McIlroy to win the US Open. You would use the exact same process here. And again, the double caret instead of the single caret is used when we have 2-way odds. So when we've got Rory McIlroy or Jon Rahm to win the US Open, but we have 2-way odds for it, that's when we can use that double caret. How about if we have 2 totally independent events where possibly both of them could happen, possibly neither of them can happen, or just one of them could happen, such as this event where we've got LeBron James or Steph Curry to score 30 plus points on some sort of FanDuel or DraftKings boost. If one of them hits it, then we win. So we've got the odds for LeBron here to score 30. We've got the odds for Steph here to score 30, but instead of a comma, because we can have either of them to do it, we have this sort of pipe symbol here, which to be honest, I didn't even know how to make when I started doing this. Shows you what a computer genius I am, but it's your slash button right above enter, but you have to hit shift when you hit it. To make this, obviously you do it twice, and this is going to let us get the odds for either of them to do it, right? Because obviously we have a greater chance if either of them can do it. However, we can't just combine the odds because these are not mutually exclusive events, right? There's not one winner in this market like there is in a NASCAR race where somebody has to win. It's possible nobody scores 30 points. That doesn't work here. So we'll say our boosted odds are minus 125, and this looks like a great boost. They have about a 67% chance for at least one of them to hit 30 points. This would also be used for a bet like either Lionel Messi or Kevin De Bruyne to score. We can't just combine their odds because it's possible nobody scores. It's possible there's only 1 goal in the game. It's possible there's 7 goals in the game. We can't treat them the same way that we treated those golf bets and those NASCAR bets. We have to use this function here instead of the commas or instead of the carets to let us see what the true odds are for either Messi or De Bruyne to score a goal, because they can both happen, one of them can happen, or neither of them could happen. So for all those boosts that you've seen and you've been like, yeah, I'm going to let somebody else do that, maybe you can do them now, because we covered some more of the complicated boosts that you can absolutely do now. I'm actually going to use the help section of the CNM De-Vigger to help me summarize this, because it helped me out a lot when I first started so that I didn't get these confused. So the first of the 3 functions, which is the single caret, the mutually exclusive all-way OR function, replaces the slash symbol, right? Because that is in the all-way market, right? A NASCAR race when there's no 2-way odds. The circa UFC fight odds that I just showed you, that's when we use the single caret. The double caret, or the mutually exclusive 2-way, replaces a comma symbol, right? Because it's 2 separate odds. We have the yes, no, or the over under, and then normally it would be a comma, and then the next yes, no, or the next over under. Combining the odds, we have the double caret. And finally, the independent event, we use this pipe symbol, the logical, to replace a comma. Again, because it's these 2-way odds, such as it shows here, either player to get 10 points, either player to score a goal, to score a touchdown, to go under 10 points, whatever. Hopefully you've got it now. Stay tuned for part 6 of the CNM De-Vigger series, where we're going to get into the combo breaker, which is maybe my favorite tool of this entire website. You can do a lot of awesome stuff with the combo breaker. So stay tuned for that. If you got any questions, definitely hit me up. Good luck on your bets tonight. Not that you need it since you're betting with an edge. Thanks.